Let's listen to Daisy Miller by Henry James, Level A2, Oxford Reading University.
Part 2. You will find Part 1 in the description and on our channel.
Mr. Giovanelli noticed them from a distance and walked toward them quickly. Winterbourne looked at him confusedly. He was a handsome, elegantly dressed man in his 30s. However, it was clear that he wasn't a real gentleman. He looks more like a musician or a bad artist, Winterbourne thought. He is only an imitation of a gentleman. A nice girl must be able to see right through him. But is Miss Miller, in fact, a nice girl? If she is, why does she agree to spend time with a man like him? 4. Several days later, Winterbourne got the chance to see Miss Miller again at Mrs. Walker's party. As promised, Daisy came with Mr. Giovanelli. Soon, someone started playing the piano, and he went to sing for the guests. Daisy sat together with Winterbourne, and they talked about that walk in the park. "It wasn't nice of him to invite you," Winterbourne said. "He only did that because you are an American girl. He would never invite an unmarried Italian girl from local society to walk around the streets." "Around the streets?" Daisy asked. "Where else can people walk? And fortunately, I am not Italian. Women here live such boring lives. Why should I change my habits to be like them?" "Because your habits make you look like a flirt," Winterbourne explained. "Flirting may be a custom in the States, but here it makes you look like a woman with no manners, especially if you are unmarried." "Well, anyway, we are just friends, very close friends," she said. "Ah," Winterbourne said. "If you are in love with each other, then it is a completely different matter." For the first time ever, Daisy became red in the face. She jumped to her feet and said quietly, "At least Mr. Giovanelli never tells me such awful things." She spent the rest of the evening in the company of the Italian and didn't say another word to Winterbourne. Soon the Millers prepared to leave. Daisy said goodbye to Mrs. Walker. In response, the woman turned her back to the girl. Daisy just stood there quietly, unable to say a word. Her face was white and her hands were shaking. Her mother didn't notice Mrs. Walker's rude gesture. When they left, Winterbourne walked up to Mrs. Walker and said, "That was very rude of you." "She will never enter my house again," Mrs. Walker replied. After the party at Mrs. Walker's, Daisy no longer received invitations to any other parties. Winterbourne went to visit her at the hotel more often. She was always in the company of Giovanelli, but she didn't seem embarrassed at all. One day, as he was walking past a church with his aunt, Winterbourne noticed Daisy and Giovanelli from a distance. "Is that Mr. Giovanelli?" his aunt asked. "Yes, he is always by her side," Winterbourne replied. "I have asked questions about him and learned something. In fact, he is a lawyer and a gentleman, but he isn't rich, he has no title. I don't believe that he hopes to marry her, or that she thinks of marrying him." "I am quite certain she doesn't think of anything," Mrs. Costello laughed. "She just lives on from day to day without a care in the world. I hate young women like her." Some Americans walked out of the church. They saw Mrs. Costello and came up to talk to her. "Poor Miss Miller has gone too far," they said, and Mrs. Costello agreed. Suddenly, Winterbourne felt sorry for the girl. The more he thought about her, the more difficult it was for him to understand her. Did she not notice what people said and thought about her? Was she really that childish? Or perhaps she knew all about it and did everything on purpose? Did she want to fight against the rules of society? Thinking about her made Winterbourne angry. He just couldn't understand her. But anyway, it didn't matter anymore. She was now interested in Mr. Giovanelli. 5. Soon spring came. One evening, Winterbourne was returning home after dinner. The night was clear and beautiful, and he decided to take a look at the great Colosseum in the light of the moon. He was walking along the ancient stone wall when suddenly he noticed a couple sitting on the stairs. He came closer and recognized Daisy and Giovanelli. Winterbourne looked at them with fear, but at the same time he felt free from all his worries. After all, she has been a simple flirt, he thought. She has never been a nice girl. I was so stupid. Why didn't I understand it earlier? He came up to them. "How long have you been here?" he asked her angrily. "The whole evening," Daisy replied. "I really wanted to see the Colosseum at night. I have never seen anything more beautiful." "I'm afraid Roman fever isn't as beautiful," Winterbourne said. "You must return home and take some medicine." Giovanelli agreed. He went to check on their carriage, and Daisy and Winterbourne were left alone. "We are getting married," she said. "Do you think it's the right decision?" "I believe that it makes little difference if you get married or not," he said seriously. "Now go home." Suddenly, Daisy said in a strange, quiet voice, "I don't care if I get Roman fever or not." The following day, Daisy fell ill. She had a terrible case of Roman fever. Winterbourne went to visit her every day. Once he met her mother at the door of Daisy's bedroom. The woman looked sad and extremely tired. "Daisy spoke of you last night," she said. "She wanted me to give you a message. She was never going to marry that handsome Italian. That is what she said. In fact, I am very happy about it. Since she fell ill, Mr. Giovanelli hasn't been around. Also, she wanted to know if you remembered the time you went to that castle in Switzerland." A week later, Daisy died. Winterbourne came to her funeral. He didn't expect so many people to come and say their last goodbye to her. Then he noticed Giovanelli in the crowd. The man walked up to him and said quietly, "I have never met such a beautiful, innocent girl." "Innocent?" Winterbourne repeated, and a sharp pain shot through his heart. "Why on earth did you take her to that place?" Mr. Giovanelli looked down at the ground and said sadly, "I had no fear for myself, and she really wanted to go." They were quiet for some time. Then the Italian went on. "I really meant to marry her in the future, but I could see that she didn't want to be with me." Winterbourne stood there listening to him and looking at Daisy's grave. When he turned away, Mr. Giovanelli was already walking away from the graveyard. Winterbourne left Rome almost immediately. But the following summer he came to Vevey again to see his aunt. He spent all year thinking about Daisy Miller and her strange character. Once he spoke of her to his aunt. "I was wrong about her," he said. "She sent me a message before her death. I didn't understand it at the time, but now I do. She really cared about what people thought of her, what I thought of her." "You didn't tell her about your feelings," his aunt said. "But do you mean that she could return them?" Winterbourne offered no answer to this question. After some time, he said, "You were right. I made a great mistake after all. I have lived abroad for too long." Still, he returned to his old life in Geneva, and his friends still tried to understand why he didn't want to live in the States. Some of them believed he wanted to study in Switzerland. Others thought that he was in love with some older foreign lady who lived in Geneva.
You will find thousands of amazing audiobooks in English that will help you read, listen, and improve your English skills in the EWA app. Choose your level and favorite genre and enjoy the world's best sellers. You can click on a word to see its translation and transcription. Isn't it convenient? Check out appewa.com today. Hit the like button and leave a comment if you enjoyed the story. This way, we will know that you need more audiobooks like this. And now, check out this crazy story in English.